this is an amazing story. My next guest is 84-year-old explorer Robin Hanbury-Tenison, who spent 7 weeks in hospital after being diagnosed with COVID-19. This was him leaving the ICU at University Hospital in Plymouth last month. I'm delighted to say that he joins me now from his home, and it is so good to see you. So good to see you. You look incredibly well, which is fantastic. You were one of the first, though, to come down with this, weren't you? Have you any idea where you caught it?
I probably might have caught it in France. We went skiing for a week before in March, and it could have been at the airport going in and out. But it's an extraordinary story, really. It all began for me just before that, when I published my book on the 14th of February, Taming the Four Horsemen, which is a forecast of the disasters facing us, Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse coming down, and a perfect lockdown reading, incidentally.
Nicely plugged, very nicely plugged. I love that. Excellent.
13th of February. And blow me, the next thing I knew, I was in intensive care with a very bad case of coronavirus myself. Wonderful nurses there looking after me. They had me on dialysis, on a ventilator, on tracheotomy. My family were told there's a 10% chance of surviving. And I went through a very bad time. Don't get it. It's really, really nasty. But I went through all that, was wonderfully looked after by the nurses. But the breakthrough for me happened because Derriford in Plymouth is one of the very few hospitals that has a garden. And there came a moment when, in that bed that you saw just now, in that clip, I was wheeled out into the garden, unconscious and sedated, in induced coma, delirious. And suddenly the sun struck my face. I was among flowers. I opened my eyes and I said, I'm going to live. So the power of healing, nature's power of healing, is extraordinary. And I'm very keen to promote that and try and raise money for all hospitals to have gardens.
That is quite remarkable. You honestly think that just getting the fresh air, being in the garden, it was a real turning point for you? Because I would imagine you don't remember all that much about when you were in intensive care, but that moment, I guess, will stay with you forever.
No, I do remember funny things coming in and out of delirium with it. It was an extraordinary experience. But yes, more and more is being written now and understood and studied about the power, the natural healing power of nature. And I've just read a couple of very good books on it that have also come out on the subject. It's a whole side of medicine which I think needs recognizing. And people do know that just being able to have pictures of plants on the wall being taken into a garden has a huge therapeutic effect.
No, I can really appreciate that. It's the same sort of thing almost with animals. You know, they make you feel better. And of course you're going to feel better with all this life around you. It is quite astonishing. What's also astonishing is that you're 84. I mean, I can't believe that, for goodness sake. And your wife has got you home now. You celebrated your birthday at home. And how are you feeling within yourself?
Well, it's extraordinary. I've had terrific backup. As I said, the nurses and everybody were wonderful. My family was also incredibly supportive. Thanks to the wonders of modern science, we had this FaceTime, and we were able to talk to each other, even though I was talking gobbledygook. Being able to see my family and be taken around the garden. My son showed me plants and reminded me, made me use my brain to remember what they were. And that all helped enormously. So that now I'm home and with my family, I feel absolutely terrific, 100%, until I start trying to move and do the therapeutic exercises I'm being told to do all the time by my drill sergeant wife, who is keeping me up to mark on all my therapy.
I'm glad she is, because it's a long process. It's a long, long process, this. And as you said, you did have some fantastic people taking care of you. And actually, we've got someone who I know that you will recognise joining us now from the rehabilitation garden you were talking about at University Hospital in Plymouth. It's Nurse Kate Tantum. Now, Kate helped you, didn't she? Helped save your life.
Well, Kate's been fantastic. She's a great advocate of natural gardens as well. And she's just one of the many who were astonishing. Guardian angels they were, and Kate's one of the very best.
No, Kate, it's lovely to see you. It really is, and thank you for everything that you've been doing, you know, not just for Robin, but for so many other people. And what he was saying about the healing power of gardens and of fresh air and being outdoors, it really does help, doesn't it?
Well,
Oh dear, we're having a wee bit of problems. Listen, don't worry, we'll try and get Kate back. That's the joy. Robin, we were talking about technology and how fantastic it is when it works. That's the thing. Sometimes it doesn't. Now look, you are already, even although you've just got over this terrible illness, you're already planning your next challenge.
Well, yes. I mean, the silly thing is that they say it takes a month for every week that you are in intensive care to recover. So I'm looking at 5 months before I'm fully fit again. I still feel absolutely great, but I also feel as though I've been hit by a bus half the time if I try doing things. So I'm looking at the end of September and I'm planning a mass walk up Cornwall's highest mountain, Brown Willie, in order to raise money for more hospital gardens.
Oh, it's great. Now, you really are a man on a mission here, and I think it's a cracking idea. I know there are certain hospitals, including obviously the one you were in, that have got this, but you would love to see this all over the country because it does help to rehabilitate people and it lifts their spirits so much.
Well, I think so. I think it is extraordinary, and I'm glad it's becoming recognised now. Every hospital should have them. There are wonderful gardens already, the ratio gardens for spinal injuries and other gardens, but far too few hospitals have them. And we need more. It is extraordinary, the effect just looking at a tree, just smelling a flower, just getting the sun on your face has, compared to all the other very clever things that the doctors are doing. I had tubes coming out of everywhere when I was wheeled out in there, and they were doing their thing. But it was that moment that I remember so vividly when the sun struck my face and I knew I was going to live.
It's Hilary, you're very open-minded about all of this. We have talked about the healing power of pets, and we know that does work. But look at I can't believe for a start he's in his 80s. He looks fantastic, and he's been so ill. And yet he says that was the turning point.
And it doesn't surprise me. I think the healing power of nature is extraordinary. A lot of our medicines come from plants.
Of course.
Plants give oxygen to the atmosphere. And if you look at pictures of the hospitals during, the beginning of the NHS, they used to wheel patients out all the time, the beds into the open air to get fresh air, and sanatoriums that were treating tuberculosis patients, etc. So there is a history, and care homes are really good these days at having gardens where the residents can go out and wander.
Well, look, we've managed to get Kate back. She's on the phone. And Robin, I just wondered if you wanted to say something to Kate, because she'll be able to hear you, really, because I know that she was such a huge part in your recovery.
I just want to say thank you for inspiring us on this whole garden thing, and good luck. Keep working on it, and we'll do everything we can to support and help you.
Oh, fantastic. And Kate, I know that it's something that's very, very close to your heart, so I think with someone like Robin on your side, this could happen all over the country.
Yes, it's our hope to try and get secret gardens for as many hospital trusts as we can, because we see every day the power of humanising intensive care and making sure that patients get access to fresh air. So getting patients outside is the most wonderful and beautiful thing we can do in the NHS.
Listen, more power to you, Kate. Thanks so much. I'm sorry for all the technical problems, but it was just lovely to hear your voice. And Robin,
thank you.
Fabulous to talk to you. Yeah, sure.
I must say one thing, Lorraine. It's lovely to see Kate's face, because all these wonderful nurses, including Kate, they all had little pointy masks on and looked like space-age people. And so, although I knew their voices very well, it's lovely to see at least one of the faces of these.
We managed to see it. We managed to see it in the end. Robin, thank you very much indeed, and good luck with the new book as well, which just shows that you could see into the future. Quite remarkable. Thank you both very much indeed for joining us.